we obviously understand the team that we're playing this week. Obviously, they're have the most championships in the history of Sun Belt. 5 out of the last 6 conference champions. They've done extremely well. Obviously, just building their program. Coach Anderson's done a really nice job there. They're they would be the most talented team that we've faced to this point. I think they've got really good offensive skill players. Defensively, their front 7 specifically is really good. They really get after the passer. They cause a lot of turnovers and do a really nice job in special teams. We are home coming up there. This is our first time obviously going to Arkansas State. So anytime you go to a place that has that much tradition and history, there's going to be some excitement. We're looking forward to going up and competing. We do think we have an opportunity to go up there and win the football game. And our guys are confident in that. Our preparation has shown that. We know it's going to be a big challenge, but we're looking forward to going up there and seeing where we stack up in this league.
Coach, what's the mindset of this team right now? This is a tough period for this program. They've never had to really battle adversity like this from a win-loss standpoint. Are you sensing any negative feel around the team, or is it still pretty positive? You feel like these guys are maybe pressing a little more because they just want to get back in the win column? And what's going on with this team right now?
You know what? I think our attitude has been good. There's frustration, obviously, because you work hard to try to get victories. There's frustration, but I also think our team's mature enough to realize and understand that we're making some mistakes that are costing us football games. And maybe, in the past, those mistakes you could correct or you could overcome them. But now that we're playing teams that are as good or better than us, we're realizing each week this league, this jump, making the jump to FBS, that there's good teams every week. And if you don't bring consistently a high level of preparation and a high level of play performance, you can get beat. And so our guys' attitudes as far as believing and continuing to understand what we're trying to do, I can't complain about. They've done a nice job of that. It has been tough, especially early on, because it's not obviously it's anything that's ever happened around here. But if we will continue to fight, continue to push each other to becoming the best we can be, this will just be a bump in the road. It might be a bump for a while, but it'll be a bump in the road, and this is going to help us ultimately win a conference championship whenever that happens.
How tough has it been? You guys have lost your last couple games. You've lost, I think, 3 now by just a touchdown. You guys, kind of like going off what Brandon said, you guys are on the verge, but as a coaching staff, I mean, how tough is that knowing you guys maybe could be 4-1 right now instead of 1-4?
Well, the questions be a lot easier to answer if you're 4-1. But we've not earned that right to be 4-1. We've not taken care of the little things, the details part of it. And that's the frustrating part is you can watch and say, hey, have a play here, play there. But we're not making those. And as a coach, you're trying to figure out why we're not making those. Is it the belief? Is it the putting the players in the right position to be successful? And when you do though, I think we've lost what you count. ULM was 8 points, but it was 2. And so there's been about 4 or 5 plays that if they don't win a different way. So as coaches, you go, should we have called something different? Should we put our guys in a different position? That's the frustrating part. But the great thing I think about coaching is no matter what you go through, you get another opportunity to try to correct things, and you get your players believing in what's going on. And we go back and try to correct things. We're always looking forward, knowing that better days are coming. We just got to continue to take care of those little things. That's been the most frustrating, us not taking care of.
Do you think from a players and maybe a fan standpoint that maybe the guys and the fans thought this transition was going to be a little bit easier, that the win-losses would be more so wins than losses, and really didn't take into consideration that what this jump meant for this program and that the growing pains were going to be a little bit more intensified than what people thought they were going to be? At this point in the game, do you think maybe people kind of, oh, hey, we've been so successful in the Sun Belt, and in the Big South, we're going to be so successful, and just didn't realize the transition was going to be tougher than it is?
Well, I think that's a natural reaction. Anytime you've had a lot of success, you just assume it's going to keep happening. And I think that's the great thing about the place. There are great expectations, the expectation of winning each week. And so did our players maybe have we're overconfident, maybe overconfident in certain things, maybe, because, never really had seen. I think the last time we played an FBS team was 2012, if I'm not mistaken, South Carolina. And so to that type of level, that type of consistent play, maybe we weren't expecting that. That's still not an excuse. We had chances to obviously win some of those games, but I think we're realizing as a program, the day-to-day, what it takes every day to win at this level. It's tough. It's the Big South's a good conference. It's not obviously close to the Sun Belt, and so our players, are learning that. Maybe the expectations of what this league was, they weren't ready for. I think as coaches we were, but our job is to get our players to. Fans, I get it. When you've had a lot of success, no matter what, even if you're having some growing pains, they want to win. And so I get them, wanting to win. Maybe whether they think it's a big jump or not. They want to win. So we got to do our best to continue to put a product out there that's going to win. I would tell them, and it's coming. It might take a little longer than what people want, but it's coming. And when it gets there, it'll be sustained, and it'll be something every year that we'll have a chance to win the conference championship.
Hey, Coach, the team got its first interception last week after 21 last year. Is there anything that the coaching staff is trying to do to force some more turnovers this year? And obviously, you're on the wrong end of the turnover numbers up there.
Yeah, every week, you work a turnover circuit. You work something every week to prepare for that. I think he had so many last year. We're matching up against some good people, and when you're playing against better people, and maybe you're not getting the quarterback's getting some time to throw it out there, or we've had chances to get the ball, not made some plays. We've had chances to get some, just not made them. But we're putting a lot of effort into that and a lot of work into it. And I think it's coming. We got the one right there before the halftime on the Hail Mary. And so we got to put our defensive players in better position to do that. We've had chances. There was a couple last week where we were rushing that quarterback. It looks like he's getting ready to throw. We're close to maybe knocking it out, and he just gets it away. So we're getting closer and closer. I think what happens, anything that you're making an emphasis on, sometimes kids try so hard to do it instead of letting it just sort of come to you. And I think that's where pressing a little bit on defense, some trying to create a turnover because that's in everybody's head, instead of just making the plays that are there and then letting it happen. But it's something that we've obviously talked about and something that our defense has put a lot of work into each week of practice. And hopefully we'll continue to do that. Their quarterback, Arkansas State is a great quarterback, but he's had some turnovers here recently. Hopefully maybe we'll get an opportunity to put him in a situation where we can get some.
Kind of going off that, last time you went on the road, you kind of shut down ULM's quarterback. Kind of what have you seen from Arkansas State? I think they're kind of first or second in the league in passing. Kind of what have you seen from them so far?
Well, they're going to really try to play as fast as possible. Their quarterback does a nice job. He's got a really good arm, and they've got some good skill players around him. They do a good job of spreading you out, and then if you've trying to cover down, they're going to run the back up in there. I think where they get you, they do a really nice job of when they get a big play or they get a first down of really trying to tempo and get you misaligned, and that's how they've hit their big plays. And so if we can keep them in front of us, make them earn drives, then I think we got a good chance of slowing them down. Where they've really, when they've beat people and they've gotten a turnover on defense and they've hit a big play within 2 plays, and we've got to try to make them sustain drives, and hopefully maybe they'll make a mistake.
Coach, from a defensive standpoint, that third quarter stop last week when they were down on the 2 and then they kicked the field goal and they missed it, you guys held them at that point. Do you think maybe that was a turning point for this defense with regards to just feeling more confident and knowing that they can keep a good offense out of the end zone and maybe use that as momentum moving forward after such a big series and a big stop?
Yeah, I did think it was a big momentum. Obviously, I put our defense in a bad situation there. We went forward about the 45 or 50, didn't get it, and they drove down. But whatever, our guys bowed up there, and we've been talking a lot. Something we practice every Wednesday is a sudden change drill where there's a turnover and the defense has to go out there, and it's been red zone quite a bit. And that's where we've had some struggles. If we've turned the ball in the red zone, they've given up touchdowns. I thought our defense did an outstanding job there, and I think it did give them they have confidence, but knowing, hey, no matter what, if we get to give the ball up, we got a chance to stop them. And I think it was big, and hopefully, that'll parlay into if it rises again, that we know we've done it, been there.
You brought a bit of a new offense to the team this year. Are you seeing week-to-week guys picking up things that you want them to do more? I mean, do you feel the offense is gaining ground, and guys are getting more comfortable in their position?
We are in some ways. We've tailored it. We've not put tons of it in. We're trying to build it around who we have and what they do well. And so I think we've gotten better each week with that, and I think that's why you're seeing us, be better and better. But we're trying to, use the skill that we have, where the most talent is, and try to get them the ball. And we've gotten better. The most disappointing, we'd get better each week, I have no doubt about that. The disappointment was just the turnovers early. That's one thing that we knew we couldn't do no matter how good we were going to be or how bad we were going to be. And we improved that last week. If we can continue to do that, we've got to try to find more ways to be better on third down. But I think our guys are understanding what we're trying to get accomplished each week now. And now it's just going out and executing it. And, this will be the third week in a row now that our offensive line will have all 5 starters, so we're getting some continuity there. And it'll be a matter of time where I think we'll be where we can be really consistent running and throwing. And it's still a little work in progress, but we're making good steps.
As far as injuries go, I think you're pretty healthy, it appears. Nicholas Clark missed the game. Can you tell us what he had, and will he be back? And are there any other injury issues? Because it appears you're getting your guys back and are fairly healthy.
Yeah, I think for the most part we are relatively healthy. Shane obviously made it back last week, and Chris, and so they're looking better and better. Nick just had like a mild hip strain, hip flexor or something of that nature, and couldn't give 100% there, so that's why he's out. It looks like he should be good to go. For the most part on our travel party, I think everybody should be relatively healthy. There's some bumps and bruises, but nothing that should keep them out of a football game.
And Laquavius is back for good.
He is. He's back as well, yes.
What will it take for you guys to get a W this weekend? What do you want to see your team do differently than they haven't done in the last couple of weeks?
Well, win, for one. That'd be great. Here's what we need to do. We've got to continue to not turn the ball over offensively. If we'll do that and some maintain possession of the football, meaning sustain some drives, not go 3 and out and have to punt, sustain some drives. Whether we get points or not, if we can keep the ball away from their offense, that's going to help our defense. Secondly, we've got to create some turnovers somehow, whether that's on special teams, whether it's on deep. We got to create some turnovers. And then the third thing that we've talked about is we can't get beat on special teams. The last couple weeks, special teams has been a big negative for us. We've given up some points there, and then we've missed a field goal and some things where usually that's been our thing that we can always hang our hat on if we're struggling on one side or the other. Special teams, history-wise, has been pretty good. We've not done that the last couple weeks. We have to go up there, and at least if we don't win it in special teams, we can't lose it. We've got to be even with them in that. If we'll do those 3 things, I think we have a chance to be right in the football game. If we go up there and struggle on offense and put our defense out there continuously without putting some points on the board to keep the football, they're a good offense. They're going to score some points. And then if we give up their punt returners, obviously really good. And he's a kick returner too. If we kick him the ball and he goes 70, or that's not good for us. So we got to do a smart job there.
Is it a challenge as a staff, knowing you guys are playing all of these teams for the first time, or is it just kind of like game planning for anything else, even though there's really not a whole lot of history between you guys and the Sun Belt teams?
I think the challenge more so, it's not necessarily the game planning part, because there's only so many defenses and offenses that you can do. Now they might have subtle adjustments. I think it's more so the skill. You're seeing different people, the size and all that for the first time. You don't really you can watch video, but not really see it until you're out there live. I think that's a big difference. And then I think too is just understanding the coaches. You don't know how the coaches are, how they coach and things that you try to do. So you're learning that as well, what they like to do. And I think that makes it a little differently. Is he a gambler? Is he going to try to go for it a bunch on certain things, or is he concerned? You're trying to learn those situations. I think that's what makes it a unique challenge. But same for them as well. We're new, and they're obviously watching video and thinking, hey, that team's not very good. So at least we got that going for us. They're going to probably think it's homecoming. Maybe overlook us, and I think we'll go play well.
I mean, it's pretty frustrating, but we believe in our process, and we believe in our coaches, and we know that we're so close to pulling it through. I mean, like you said, we lost the last 3 games by 7 points or less, and I think we're on the right path to get to where we need to be.
What are your thoughts on that, Miles?
Well, I feel like we just need to take out some of the penalties and like fix some minor mistakes from the big plays that are happening, and then we'll be back on a winning season.
For both of you guys, what's the mindset right now of this team? I mean, you've never been 1-4 at any juncture in a season to start the season. At this point, are you guys trying to, are you pressing a little bit more, or how, I mean, what are you guys trying to do to try to get back on track and make this a successful season, or as successful as it can be?
I mean, the mindset right now for the offense and defense, we're just hungry to get another win. And you know, right now we've lost 2 games in the Sun Belt, so we're just hungry for that first conference win.
We just gotta bounce back. Once we bounce back, there's no turning back. No more losing, straight winning from now on.
I think it don't get any easier this week. You go to Jonesboro, tough place to play. Arkansas State's always been tough at home for the better part of a decade. Let's talk about heading up there and having to play them on the road, and knowing that the task is going to be a challenge yet again.
As far as the team goes, we feel as if it's just another week. You know, it's a big game. They scheduled us for their homecoming, so our theme this week is to crash the party, and that's what our plan is, to go down and do.
Me personally, I like away games because like it's more of a challenge because the fans is against you and whatnot. And once you upset them, the stadium's like totally quiet. Like, dang, we just lost our homecoming.
You guys feel, I mean, is this kind of, this will give you a taste of the Sun Belt with, you know, they won 4 of the last 5 conference titles. Is this kind of what the team relishes about moving up to the next level, getting to play the best teams in the conference?
That's definitely our goal. Our goal was to move up to play better competition, and I feel as if that, you know what I'm saying, we are taking those steps, and it's just we get hitting some adversity right now, but we'll pull through.
I feel like we're on the same level as them, but just minor setbacks is like keeping us away from getting a win. That's all.
Omar, how frustrating is it to watch film the last couple of weeks, knowing you guys are so close, but just the little smallest details are just killing you guys and keeping you all from winning games? It's frustrating watching film and knowing that there's kind of self-inflicted wounds that are keeping you guys from in the win column.
I mean, yes, it's pretty frustrating, but we just got to keep believing in what our plan and what we got to do, and we'll pull through.
Omar, what changes have you seen in the offense? Tyler's had a couple nice games now. What differences have you seen with the offense the last couple of weeks?
As far as the whole offense, our quarterbacks are getting more confident. They're getting more comfortable in the offense. They're understanding what they have to do, and, you know, we just got to follow behind them and keep them up, keep them confident, and they'll pull us through.
Have you been happy to see a lot more passing? You probably doing more catching than blocking.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course, it's a good feeling, but I mean, in my opinion, it doesn't do anything if, you know what I'm saying, we come up short. So I just do whatever I can to try to get the W.
From a defense perspective, what's going through you guys' minds right now, preparing for Arkansas State, kind of what you see from them offensively on film, and kind of attacking these guys this week?
Well, from film, I see that they are a passing team. It'll be like a lot of passing, barely any run. But hopefully we can change that because our defense we want to run because we can stop the run easy.